What's up, it's Peter Voogd, and I'm here in sunny Beverly Hills, California, about to meet with my boy, Rob Gough, actor, investor, entrepreneur, CEO, and just an amazing dude doing big things in LA. I'm excited to get some value from him and share with you guys. So let's go into the Dope headquarters. What's up, brother?
How are you?
Man. Great to have you. It's amazing being here, amazing spot, and we've studied you. I'm excited to connect and really bring your experience to a lot of the people watching, to millennials, to anyone that wants to do something bigger with their life. Maybe it's invest, maybe it's start a business. So first of all, from Indiana, there's not a lot of people that make it from Indiana to LA to live their dreams and build a world-class lifestyle. So where did it come from? Did you always know you wanted to move to LA? Was it a process, or how did you go from Indiana to LA?
Honestly, it wasn't ever a dream. I invested in a startup, not a startup, but an internet company that was based in Marina Del Rey.
Got it.
And so we started the company back in Indianapolis and tried to really grow from there. But one of our biggest competitors was in Santa Monica and started just recruiting all their top talent. The second person from each department, and as we just acquired more and more talent, they're all working from home, and it just made sense to move the office out to LA.
You've invested in a lot of different, diverse things.
Right.
So bars, a recycling company, a clothing store, vape company, and a lot of other stuff.
Coupon sites.
But you're always trying new things, experimenting. What do you look for when you're investing in something and you're looking to grow, scale, and build something that obviously you're proud of and that makes you money? So what do you look for? What are some key things that you look for?
People obviously very important because you have to trust them to grow the brand and to take kind of initiative to not just slack off. So people's number one, you have to be able to trust them. Number two, I like industries that have big multiples. So for instance, vape, big multiples initially, that was the idea of it. Tech, marijuana, whatever that has a big opportunity for
and you said something earlier, you said you don't really invest in companies, you invest in the people.
Correct.
A lot of people are thinking about companies, not people.
Right.
So why is it important to focus on the people that are actually running the companies versus just focusing on industries?
Every day, great businesses go under because they have terrible people running it every single day. So if you have a good person running it, I think it's much more important than, you can take a mediocre idea and make it go much bigger with a good team.
That's huge. So you started becoming successful, you made it to LA, you made money, and then you kind of took some time off.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of younger people watching that are crushing it, or they want to crush it, and they're inspired by you and by people that are doing big things, and they think when they make the money, it's the end game. They're like, when I make money, I've made it. That's not the case though, is it?
No, same with me, that's what I thought too. So I traveled and just hung out.
For how long?
3 years.
I don't know if I could do that. 3 years.
It's a long time. But you do get bored, and especially if you like business and entrepreneurship. And for me, that's my game. So I just kind of waited around, invested in things, and waited for the right opportunity to strike. And so that's when I bought Dope. I just felt like it had the big multiple exit, and also the business was changeable, that I could change it and make instrumental growth in the first 90 days.
So you see business kind of as a game. You play. You don't just see it as for fun. You see it as a game that you can play and win. And obviously, big multiples mean big payouts. So Dope is something that's everywhere. All of you guys know Dope. We'll show some people wearing it, but Jay-Z, Justin Bieber. There's clothing lines coming up everywhere these days. Like I think a lot of kids are like, I'm gonna start a clothing line. They don't realize the work it takes. What do you feel like kind of separates and differentiates Dope from all the other clothing lines? Besides a lot of celebrities and amazing influencers loving it, so that's a big deal, but what else do you think differentiates it?
I think our designs are always ahead of the curve. Great quality product, you're getting a lot of value for not a crazy price.
The sweatshirt I'm buying is amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, our value adds are, these products should be sold for a lot more than what we sell them for. So, and I think the name is incredible. So you give somebody a really good product with good designs, you make them look cool, they're gonna be happy.
A lot of people think it's a luxury brand, but the prices are very doable for any kid.
And that's the whole point, right? So even our denim, it should retail for about $400. The same factory that makes my denim sells another denim for $400, the exact same jean. and I'm selling it for $98, $88. And the whole point of that is, I didn't come from, you know, Beverly Hills and things. You want kind of the world to be able to still look dope, but not have to spend
a fortune at Gucci or
correct
all these other spots. That's why I love it. That's amazing.
You know, this is cut and sew, right? So anybody can start a clothing company, which they do. And basically what they'll do is they'll take a blank, like a Champion blank, and they'll just screen print on it. Super easy. Anybody can do it, and that's what everybody now does. Everybody's got a clothing brand. This kind of stuff is called cut and sew. This is a lot more intricate. So basically, you're designing a complete custom fit. You're adding, this is a whole new piece of fabric, obviously the custom patch, adding a zipper, you know, just all a lot more intricate than just doing, then you're adding hits on the back, or this, same thing. Everything is just
very
more
intricate, for sure, very intricate.
Even a t-shirt like this is cut and sew, right? So it's not just a blank t-shirt, and then you're sewing it there, hitting it here. This is a custom blank though. The logo goods are the easiest things that we make, but one of the most purchased. There's an artist that's going to be wearing a dope sweatshirt on the cover of Billboard magazine next month. So big female artist, I don't know, like 16 million followers or something, but so the logo gear is out, you know, big seller.
He has the leverage, and he's very proud of his brand because of how amazing it's doing, how dope it is. But you talked about like shipping out some free stuff to celebrities, and you don't have to. You said, I don't have to. They're already wearing it. They're coming in and buying it, whether it's a Bieber, a Jay-Z. So that's amazing because a lot of companies are using that marketing tactic to ship things. I've even told people, ship some things to big influencers. You don't really have to.
Well, I think the
Maybe a mix of both.
Yeah, and I think the problem is, back in the day, there were no influencers, right? And you didn't really have Instagram, and you couldn't see what everybody's wearing on a daily basis.
True.
So it really meant a lot. Nowadays, my thought, I do think that influencer marketing is important, but everybody's an influencer. So like back in the day, if you're, let's say, I don't know, somebody, a massive celebrity, and they saw what you're wearing and it was photographed in the newspaper, that was a big deal. People really want to see that. Nowadays,
everywhere.
It's
every
everywhere.
Day they have different clothes.
I see what you wear every day. So I'm not really gonna go buy it unless it's a smaller product, like a smaller name. That's where I think it makes a lot more sense.
It's a good philosophy, though. So what do you tell a lot of people that maybe are starting a business, not clothing, but any business, or they're wanting to invest in a business? What would you tell your younger self, or what do you tell a lot of these young millennials that maybe want to become more successful, but they don't have a roadmap, they don't know what to think about, they don't have any influencers or mentors around them? What's some advice you can give them?
I would say outwork anybody else, but you have to get scrappy. So I'll use an example. I didn't have, my first business, I didn't have money to start it. No one would give me money. I was trying to raise money. So I put yard signs up all over town. And these yard signs were the cheapest way I thought I could like buy a billboard, I guess. But they were just disappearing every week. They would always end up gone. So then I called the city and said, hey, what's the deal? Where are my, these yard signs that keep disappearing? And so they said, well, you can't put them up all over town. It's illegal. So I said, well, then what days do you work? That's crazy. You keep finding these signs. And they said Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or whatever. So on Friday nights at 5 o'clock, I'd go post these billboards all over town. And then on Sunday nights, I'd go take them down. And so it's just about basically being,
by any means, being resourceful.
Yeah, being resourceful, kind of being scrappy and bootstrapping things, you know? I used to focus on, you would say, hey, I'm making a lot of money here, let's do this. Somebody else would say, oh, there's a lot of money over here, so I'd go do this. And until you focus on one thing, I think it's very difficult to be successful. That being said, obviously now I'm doing a lot of different things.
But you're focusing on one thing.
Correct.
Until it's successful.
And it's also a different time now. Now I have money to hire people to help to do different things, you know?
So where do you see a lot of younger businesses that maybe fail? Is there any common themes you see with businesses of why they fail? Like if you had to pinpoint all the businesses you've connected with, talked to, people, businesses failing, whether it's a huge retailer like a Blockbuster or maybe a new business that fails. Because these days, there's amazing opportunity everywhere, but still 90% of businesses fail in the US.
Right.
What do you think some of the main reasons are so people can kind of avoid those pitfalls?
Because everybody sees somebody making money and they want to do the same thing. So, but at that time, it's too late because everybody's already doing it. So for instance, let's use marijuana, for example. Everybody wants to have a marijuana brand, would just come up with their own, or a clothing brand, but it's been done before. So why don't you become the guy that supplies the blanks, or supplies the printing, or supplies the tags, or something else that kind of sees everybody else trying to go into this market, and then why don't you help? It's like the gold rush. It's the guys that sold the shovels and the whatever. That's what made all the money, you know? So I think the biggest problem is everybody wants to go into the same industries that everybody else is already in because they see this one guy making a bunch of money.
So do that, or obviously see a company that has an upside and purchase that as well.
Correct.
And then redo it, because you said you hired more designers, some more amazing designers, you hired out different people and made sure the brand was top notch, even though already was doing well.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's all
amazing.
about scalability. Where if you can scale it, especially quickly, and then exit, that'd be great.
I don't think a lot of people think about scale. I mean, to be a lot of millennials I see, they're like, oh, this is amazing, I'm making 6 figures, I can even make 7, but they don't think 3 to 4, 5, 10 years down the road, there's no scalability. There's no multiples.
So my biggest thing is, it takes the same amount of time to build $1 billion business as it does $1 million business. So why would you, but people like limit their minds. And even, let's say in Indianapolis, a downtown building at the time was like $1 million. So growing up there, you see that's your ceiling, that's what you want to strive to own a building for $1 million. And then you move to this world.
You're like, that's not even.
And people can't buy an apartment for $1 million. So it raises your dreams, I guess, or what you think is your standards, or what you think is reality. And so that's where I think people kind of mistake. That's their biggest mistake, is they only think this is possible, and really anything is possible. It's just you kind of have to.
So you're from Indiana, though. Where did you get that mindset? Did you always have it? Parents, people around you, or did you have it when you moved to LA? Or was there a little bit of that growing up? Because that's tough to have that mindset from Indiana.
Definitely growing up, my mother always, if I said I couldn't do something, she always said, can't, never did anything. She never let me say I can't do something. And then from the big mindset, when I was really, really young, I don't know, maybe 10, she asked me who I looked up to. And this was like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, it was like there's those big era. And I said, I don't know, maybe Michael Jordan. I never really looked up to anybody. And so
you didn't put people on pedestals.
Never.
That's important.
And I still don't. It's weird.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm starting to do the same thing as I get older and grow in maturity and results. It's like, why would I put people on pedestals? They're human beings.
Right. Yeah, I think I can beat them if I wanted to, for sure.
Love it. They just put in more time, certain things.
Yeah. So she said, well, who do you think Michael Jordan looks up to? And I said, I have no idea. Maybe like Scottie Pippen. She said, no, the owner of the team. She said, that's who you want to be. So that kind of puts it into perspective. Everybody looks up to Jordan. You think he's the best, but who does he look up to? That's who you should really be striving to be, you know?
Interesting. So you were lucky to have a mentor as your mom to kind of fill your head with amazing thoughts about the future versus limitation. I see a lot of parents, because of their limitations or their past, they put those limitations on their kids.
And I think they also maybe keep their kids down a little bit, not consciously, but you know, because they don't want their kids to be unhappy because they can't provide the life for them. And instead, they should be promoting them and saying, you can have the world, go after it. You know, you can do anything. You just have to go for it.
Promote failing sometimes too.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, failing is great. You learn. If you get up.
So you have a new movie out, Billionaire Boys Club. Talk about where that came from and like how it came from an idea to fruition, and then we'll kind of give one piece of advice. We'll let you go. I know you got meetings today, but where'd that come from?
So it's a remake of a film back in the, I believe, 80s. It's a true story about these guys who created a Ponzi scheme, to be honest. And I was fortunate enough to film it. We filmed it in, my part was in New Orleans. So I got to spend a week with the guys.
Amazing actors.
Yeah, great actors. Yeah, it's been.
So we saw the trailer. I'm excited to watch it.
You'll love it.
You already gave some advice. I appreciate your time, man. You're crushing it. You're someone that's living an amazing lifestyle in LA. That's almost everybody's dream. And I just wanted to bridge the gap, because there's a lot of kids in small towns that don't think they could do big things for whatever reason. So is there any final words that you would tell a young entrepreneur watching this that just wants to build a legacy, wants to do big things, but literally does not think they can? Right now, they're like, that's not me. They separate me and you, or they separate actors and entertainers and NBA players. What do you tell that young kid? Maybe even a young you.
Yeah, you can't do it if you tell yourself you can't. You know, I mean, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I mean, there's so many different quotes out there that they're true. You know, I mean, if you don't take the leap. But the problem is these kids kind of want everything to be handed to them. They want to come out here and just expect it to happen, and you have to work for it. And you have to be creative, and you have to struggle in the beginning, but make it happen. Anybody can do it. You just got to make the shit happen. So
people see your lifestyle. You're traveling, doing all these things. But when you were in a really your sacrifice stages, how many hours were you working?
I mean, till today, I'm at the office till 11 p.m.
I want people to understand that.
Yeah, on most nights, 11 p.m., 12 p.m.
And are you starting late or are you starting early?
Starting early.
So you're already, in most people's eyes, you've already made it. You're still grinding. You're still hustling. There's people that work like they've already made it and they're working 6 hours a day and they're like, oh, I'm tired. You've already had success, unlike most people, and you're still hustling.
Correct.
Where's that come from? Where's that drive come from?
I love it though.
It's a game.
It's a game to me.
Love it, man.
I mean, it's just you do what you love, you know?
For sure. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
All love. Appreciate who you are. And I'm excited to be a part of your ventures, man, your legacy.
Congratulations to you too, man. This is exciting.
Appreciate it. Wrap.